this next question is about initial funding, but this will be
Mhm.
also something that you can give advice to. So, how did you secure initial funding or resources to get started? And what advice would you give others looking to raise capital for their ventures?
Yeah, so like I said, my situation is a service-based business. I didn't have a lot of capital to purchase other than laptop, cell phone, that kind of stuff. So I didn't have a lot of that. But what amazed me was how quickly once I got a open a business checking account with my bank was like, hey, and it was ironic. I think it's because I did have a little bit of a track record as part time, but not any great giant earnings. But they gave me a line of credit right away. And I was like, oh wow. And I barely ever had to use it, but I kind of self financed the business to be honest, or to be candid. But I think if I was somebody who was starting again and I had to start and build a business and I knew I needed, $50,000, and I've actually helped people do this. I remember a good friend was trying to purchase a franchise, and he was overwhelmed by the size of it. And I said, why don't you break it down into smaller amounts? Like, why don't you look for like $5,000, $10,000 investors? I said, I would be one. And he was like, you would? I said, yeah, man, on the strength of who you are, I know you're good for it. And just put something together. And so sometimes, if you break it down and see if you could find friends and family, but you got to make sure you have a real plan and a real strategy for how you will return it because you don't want to strain relationships. But I vividly remember that brother, and I said, yeah, I would help you. And he was like, what? I said, first of all, I don't think he thought I had $10,000 to invest. I was like, you don't ever speak for other
Ah,
people's pockets. You don't know what people have. And
right, right.
you got to
Yeah,
also remember how people see you. Like, I just wouldn't give
right.
$10,000 to anybody, but I was like,
Yeah,
I know this brother. This brother has a crazy work ethic. He will get up at before the sun goes down, and he will stay after, but he's going to finish it. So I just
yeah,
believed in him. I believed in him more than I believed in the franchise. And so I was like,
gotcha.
hey,
Got
I'll
it.
support you. And I think more people have that in their life, and they don't
Hmm.
realize it.
Wow.
Wow.
And you just got to ask,
You just got to
or just ask, and then like the one big thing that you said is receive.
ask.
Like, be willing to receive the help.
Hmm.
I think I
Absolutely.
think I think I think you're on to something. So everybody, if you need funding, go to Curtis. I'll
I'll be
put
a
my
micro vet.
application in tomorrow. No, I'm just playing. No, that's awesome though. That was awesome. Thanks for sharing that, because
Mhm.
that's just another way of people really getting a grasp of, how do they, if it requires certain funding, what could they do? What resources they have. So thanks for sharing that.